humidity. And looking down into lane number... Now let's set the lanes. Amidst all the humidity. And looking down into lane number 1, it is Darren Nelson of Stanford University, a junior, one of the great football players in the country. Fine running back, tore up his leg long jumping and missed all of last football season and most of the track season. Lane number 2, the defending champion from University of Texas, El Paso, Jerome Deal. In lane number 3, from UCLA, a sophomore, Eric Brown, second in the Pac-10. Mike Robertson, Florida State, a senior, the Metro Conference champion, 100 and 200. James Sanford, University of Southern California, junior, 10:02, collegiate record holder, number 1 in the world. Calvin Smith, Alabama, a freshman, 4th in the Southeastern Conference championship. And in lane number 7, it is Stanley Floyd of Auburn University, an 18-year-old freshman. Sanford is considered the dominant personality in the sprints right now. Obviously a key man for USC if the Trojans are to contend with UCLA and with UTEP for the national team title. And now our sprinters settle into their blocks, ready for the call. Sanford right in the middle of the track. We've got a fair start. It is Sanford out pretty well. Robertson's out well. Smith is out well, and so is Stanley Floyd. It is Floyd pulling at the tape, and it is Floyd, and an upset. Stanley Floyd, the 18-year-old youngster from Putney, Georgia, a freshman at Auburn, has pulled off one of the major upsets of the international track season as he runs down James Sanford and wins the 100 meters at 10.10. What a startling turnaround of form here in Austin, Texas in the NCAA championships. A look at it in slow motion, and we'll have to freeze the slow motion at the end of it to pick up which man finished in second place. But right about here, Stanley Floyd, running in lane number 7 to the right-hand side of the picture there, was starting to establish the lead, and he just pulled it out, and he was a clear winner of the 100 meters. Michael Robertson of Florida State was right there with James Sanford, and the call goes to Robertson for second place. Sanford is third. Their times are 10.12. So, how do you do? Before we came here for this track and field championship, featuring James Sanford of Southern California, despite his third place finish in the 100 meters here in Austin, Texas, still considered by most the ranking sprinter in the world. Earlier, Arthur Ashe talked with him.
You have to run 9 races in 3 days. How does that affect you, 9 races?
Well, not at all. You know, I think it's my background, because it's something that I was doing all through high school, and, you know, even at SC, I was running 4 races, so, and plus, you know, then I was a quarter mile, and I have that quarter mile, you know, background, and that I think that helps me most to get through, you know, these 9 days, and it doesn't bother me at all.
Houston and Texas A&M.
Now we move to the 200-meter dash. The world record, 1972. Pietro Mini of Italy, 1979. The NCAA meet record, 20.16. Clancy Edwards, Southern California, 1978. Setting the lanes now for the 200 meters. Rudy Lavarity out of the Bahamas. North Texas State, a junior. In lane number 2 will be Butch Woolfolk, the tailback from Michigan, the Big Ten champion. In lane number 3 from Oklahoma State, you have James Butler, the Big 8 champion. And in lane number 4, you have Michael Robertson, the Metro champion, 100 and 200 from Florida State. Lane number 5, James Sanford of USC, who was third in the 100 here. Lane number 6, the defending champion, Greg Foster, who's already won the 110-meter high hurdles from UCLA. Lane number 7, Desai Williams. He is from Clemson, the ACC champion at 100 and 200 meters, and Mel Latney of Georgia, who was second in the SEC. All right, runners being called to their marks right now. Could be a big moment, big move for USC if Sanford can hold it together. Of course, Greg Foster, as we noted, is the defending champion.
I would look for the race to be in the center of the track, but Mel Latney out there in lane 8 is very good, and he's got less of a turn to run. He could sneak by them.
All right, here they go. It is Sanford taking the early lead. It is Michael Robertson now pulling up, coming off the turn. It is Robertson, Florida State, with 24 points. This could be a big win for the Seminoles. And Sanford is well back. He pulled. Sanford has pulled. James Sanford finishing I don't even think he got a point as he just kept fading as Robertson came down off the turn and got in front. It looked like Greg Foster might have been able to get a third place out of it, possibly even a second. But James Sanford down in a heap as he pulled nearing the finish line, and Michael Robertson gets 10 for Florida State.
A lot of emotion down there on the track as Robertson mobbed by his teammates, but also James Sanford down on the track pulled that muscle towards the end of the race. You've got to remember, when they're running the 200, they're reaching speeds that are faster than any other race. They're running faster than they do in the 100 meters because they've got so much momentum, and when that hamstring goes, it can really be serious. I haven't seen too many guys hit the track like Sanford does, and maybe he may even have some trouble coming back from this one. It could be serious.
All right, let's take an isolated look now at James Sanford in a replay here and try to pick up exactly where it was that he got hurt. He looked so strong coming off the start.
Well, Sanford did not get a good start. You see Roberson's really got a lead on him, and Foster was with him. This is where Sanford usually makes his move, and he's got to make a very big one, an impressive one, to cut down Roberson. So he may have started pushing. He may have overstrided a bit. When you're moving that fast and you start overstriding, things can happen. He's tired. He's had a lot of races. And here you'll see he really pops up in the air. That thing snapped. That's not a cramp as we've seen some of the fellas get. That is a pulled hamstring, and he's having trouble getting himself under control. Mel Latney sensing the problem, grabbing him because that thing is really painful at this point. He can't put any pressure on it. He's got a lot of problems at this point.
So down on the track, the kind of thing that just strikes terror into the heart of an athlete and a coach. Now a line replay, and you can see that Michael Robertson of Florida State, he just simply came blowing out of there. He had the lead almost instantly, and here you can see that Sanford looked like he was ready to go for his acceleration, but there was nothing there at that point, and Michael was just flat gone. And Butler of Oklahoma State going along with him right there, pulling into second place, and then Greg Foster coming up on the outside to take a third place, with Des Williams of Clemson finishing in the number 4 spot. 19.96, but too much wind, just a little over the allowable.
Keith, Roberson's big upset is really going to help Florida State move up to third place, which is the highest they've ever been in this meet.
Strikes terror into the heart of an athlete and a coach. Now a line replay, and you can see that Michael Robertson of Florida State, he just simply came blowing out of there. He had the lead almost instantly, and here you can see that Sanford looked like he was ready to go for his acceleration, but there was nothing there at that point, and Michael was just flat gone. And Butler of Oklahoma State going along with him right there, pulling into second place, and then Greg Foster coming up on the outside to take a third place, with Des Williams of Clemson finishing in the number 4 spot. Still shows the best times among those entered in this very important event, but they have a young freshman in there.
Well, they still have 4 very good runners, but getting off a good stick pass under the heat of this type of competition is another matter entirely, especially when you throw a new man into the works. Getting off the perfect stick pass with both runners at full speed has got to be the epitome of teamwork in sports. And with a wind at a runner's back or a runner tying up, not knowing the personal whims of that new runner, they run the risk of losing the race, because I don't think it'll be settled by much more than 0.2 of a second.
University of Texas El Paso does not have a team entry in the 4x100 relay. Now let's set the lanes for you. Running in lane number 1 inside will be Texas A&M, and Steve Willis will run the takeoff leg for the Aggies. In lane number 2, Terrence Totley leads off for the Clemson Tigers. That's in lane 2. In lane number 3, a team to watch, James Butler, the leadoff man for Oklahoma State. USC will be in lane number 4 with Kevin Williams, the remarkable football receiver, leading off for the Trojans. In lane number 5, another group to watch, Florida State. Their leadoff man is Bobby Butler. In lane number 6 for the Auburn Tigers, it'll be Steve Struther leading off. Auburn in lane number 6. Lane number 7 will be empty. Northwestern Louisiana State having pulled out of the 400-meter relay. In lane number 8, Dokie Williams leads off for UCLA. He has posted the longest of the triple jump so far at 54.8½. Did it in his first try in the qualification, so he's taken the time off now to run the leadoff leg for the UCLA Bruins, and we'll have a look at Dokie in the triple jump pit a little bit later. You're looking at Kevin Williams of USC. Mike Sanford, a freshman, runs the second leg. On the turn, his brother James Stanford, and then it's another freshman, William Green, Bill Green, to bring the Trojans home. So Let's see how two freshmen function on this revamped Trojan relay team. Everybody off well. Let's look for the first exchange. Kevin Williams for USC. In the turn, they're still all pretty even. Florida State would have the edge right now. The Seminole team getting out well. Oklahoma State running very well. So far, everybody's handled the baton pretty well. USC right now would be in the number 3 position. James Sanford running the turn. Look at Sanford turn it on, and he gives USC the lead. And here comes Bill Green. Bill Green is well out in front, coming up hard on Green. It is Florida State. Now here comes Oklahoma State's Ron Ingram. It is Ron Ingram battling Walter McCoy for second place. UCLA running on the outside, looked to get a 4th place. James Sanford, who turned in a blistering leg around the turn for USC. The Trojans were in about 3rd place when James got the baton from his brother Mike, and just how, when he handed it over to Bill Green, it was something to see as Green brought the Trojans home first. All right, let's take a second look now. In isolation, the winning Trojan relay team.
Kevin Williams gets it out well. The only question on USC's superiority was on this second leg, as Mike Sanford has to sub for Bones. He takes a good stick from Williams, keeps him in the race, and then he hands it off to his brother James, and then we'll see why James is rated right now one of the fastest sprinters in the world. He just opens the race up. He's USC's fastest man. They ran him on that 3rd leg because he runs the turn so well, and then it was all over as Bill Green got the stick. The race was over by then. The pressure is off USC. No one breathing down their neck. Green, a 400-meter man, did yield a few yards in the end of the race, but Sanford had opened it up on that 3rd leg.
Winning time for the Trojans, 39.16. Oklahoma State got a 2nd. Florida State took a 3rd, and UCLA took 4th. So your team standings through the top 3, still a battle. UCLA, 32 points. UTEP, 29 points. And USC now with 28 points. 4 with Kansas 2nd and Baylor 3rd in the 4x400-meter relay. Now, going back to the 200 meters, James Sanford of USC, here in the center of the picture, came down with a cramp. He did not pull a hamstring as we had first thought. Michael Robertson of Florida State won the race, but James Sanford, having run 9 races in 3 days in 90-plus degree heat, just simply ran out of luck and physical stamina in this one. When he reached back and grabbed it and jumped up in the air and grabbed that right leg, we thought for sure the hamstring was gone. But turns out it was a severe cramp, and he will be able to resume his training and probably his competition for the rest of the season.